boom of the mid-2000s to the economic collapse and foreclosure crisis, it's been a wild ride for the real estate market, and for much of the last 5 years, it's been a buyer's market. But just in the last few months, that's changed in parts of Massachusetts.
It's really amazing now. Many house hunters are coming face to face with low inventory and an increasingly competitive real estate market. Our business editor, Peter Howe, has more on these bidding wars.
For Dave Levency and his wife, Adrienne, Little Thomas was the classic reason to start looking for a home to move up from their apartment in Arlington, Massachusetts. Rock-bottom interest rates and extra incentive.
My wife and I, we sat out the last 5 years because we knew housing prices were dropping, and we don't want to catch a falling knife. So now we kind of saw in the last year that the market had kind of stabilized. So we're like, okay, we just had our son. We're like, okay, now's the time to buy. Market prices are stable. Let's get in there.
But then it began. They found a fabulous two-family.
So we bid $20,000 over asking, and we lost on that house because someone bid $50,000 over what we bid. We bid on another house in Belmont. We were one of 11 bidders, and there was probably about 40 people going through the open house. Crazy to even try to move around the house and see it, with that many people. So we started looking at other communities where maybe we could actually win a bidding war, like a Wakefield or Melrose, and even there, when we're putting in bids, 4 or 5 people in minimum bidding on a house. And these aren't even the most desirable communities in Boston. These are just other communities inside the 128 loop.
After a brutal spring, Dave has a vivid way to describe the suburban Boston housing market.
It's like ants attacking a piece of candy. Everyone just swarms.
These bidding wars we haven't seen maybe 6 or 7 years.
Kim Allard Moccia is a realtor in Braintree, south of Boston, and this year's president of the Massachusetts Association of Realtors.
It's a matter of supply and demand, we believe. There's far less inventory than there's been, even as recent as the fall.
In March, the latest available numbers, there were just under 20,000 homes for sale in Massachusetts. That was way down from 1, 5, and 10 years ago. Likewise, the number of condos for sale in March in Massachusetts was down even more, less than half as many condos for sale as 2008.
There just aren't enough homes and not enough choices for people. I think there's been a lot of pent-up demand.
Tim Warren heads the Warren Group, publishers of Realty Bible, banker and tradesman, and to him, this dearth of homes for sale does not make sense.
Homeowners are stubborn. They have an idea from a cocktail party back in 2006 of what the peak value of their home was, and that's the number that's in their mind.
And many seem to have decided, if I still can't get every dollar my house was supposedly worth at the very peak of the bubble, I just won't sell yet. Now, across the state, by historic standards, there is an unusually low inventory of homes for sale. But the mismatch between supply and demand is especially intense in certain zip codes and in certain price ranges. Arlington, where Dave Levency has focused, had 83% fewer homes for sale than a year earlier, the biggest drop of any Massachusetts community. The next biggest drops, fueling bidding war conditions, Belmont, Somerville, Medford, and Needham. So how do you do best in these bidding wars? Debbie Benoit, a top realtor out of Wellesley, says if you're a seller, don't get greedy. Maybe even list your house a little low to spark extra interest and bids.
Price is everything. It still is important. Prices have firmed up. They haven't skyrocketed up. So if you price your house realistically, you are going to most likely have multiple offers. We're seeing 6, 7, 8 offers. One house in town had 12 offers on it.
Put your best foot forward. You don't have to be living in the biggest house or the most beautiful house, but take what you have, make sure it's clean, make sure it presents well, make sure it smells good. You don't have a second chance to make a first impression, as they say.
For buyers, besides offering lots more money, some are, quote, waiving the home inspection contingency, saying, I won't reduce this offer no matter what a home inspector finds, or sweetening the pot other ways.
It could be a closing date. It could be more money down. So it's not always the number.
Even writing owners and begging, sell to me.
There's always that tug at the heartstring letter, and oftentimes if offers are so similar, it's the winning bid basically because of that letter. And someone wants the new buyers to love their house just as much as they do. So oftentimes that is what wins that bid.
Mostly buyers do not dawdle.
Definitely see it right away if you think it's a house for you. I sold a house just last week that literally we started showing it at 11 o'clock in the morning, right around the corner, and it was sold by 3.
Dave and Adrian Levensee have learned their lesson. Their last bids, they went high and added an escalation clause, agreeing to match up to a point, other bidders going even higher.
If you're not bidding asking price, if you're not willing to bid more than asking price, having an escalation clause, you're probably not going to get it. You know, like, it's that competitive.
We expect this to be going on for several more months. So it's a great opportunity to sell your house with all the buyers out there looking for something.
Homes that so many of them are finding so hard to find and willing, for the first time in years, to bid more and more to get at the right price and place. In Arlington, Massachusetts, I'm Peter Howe, NECN.
Peter's story certainly woke me up. I want to sell my house now.
Well, that's what, a lot of people, you would think now would be the time to sell. Price pressure is pushing upwards, so maybe now is a good time if you're ready.
We'll see, I know. Well, these numbers aren't officially tracked, but Peter told me that the price ranges where bidding wars are happening most are not the top of the market or bottom price-wise, but around the middle. $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes in suburbs known for schools and transit access.
Yeah, so it is not in all communities that this is occurring. In lower price brackets, still many homeowners underwater, owing more in their mortgage than their homes are now worth, who can't yet afford to sell.